I originally bought the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 as a portable B-cam. However, it's rapidly replaced my main camera due to the versatile features, accessories, ease of use, and creative shots it allows me to get. When I went to the Consumer Electronics Show this year, I kid you not, probably every 1 in 5 people there had one, and for good reason. It's almost been out for 2 years now, but with recent tariff changes, the price has increased, so I want to walk you through my experience using it and if the price hike is worth it for you. So let's dive in. Now, the Osmo Pocket 3 has been out for roughly 2 years now, and one of the main reasons that I've kept using it actually now as my A-cam, it was originally meant to be my B-cam at CES, but it ended up becoming my A-cam, and even at home now it's become my A-cam because of the ease of use, the stabilization, and the features that it has. Stowing it away is super simple in this case that DJI provides, and you can also store lenses here, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. My A-cam sometimes just takes a lot of time to set up, even though it is a little more versatile with the lens capabilities. But in general, I just find this way easier. And sometimes when you're creating content, the ease of use and the ability to just whip something out and start filming and just press record is actually very beneficial. That camera is by far more versatile in a studio environment, but this is better on the go because of the portability, the ease of use, and it breaks that barrier of just hitting record and starting to create content, which is pretty invaluable sometimes. Now, with all this portability, you might be thinking there has to be some compromise in terms of the design, and perhaps there is a little bit, but really not that much. You do still get pro modes on this, so because of the new 1-inch sensor, the Osmo is actually very good in low light, and that CMOS sensor is capable of doing 120 FPS at 4K. You can also do 10-bit D-Log, so it is very good for coloring if you like doing that in post. For this video, I'm actually not gonna do anything in D-Log because you can then just see what it would come like out of the box in terms of the video quality that you'd get. I think that's a little more useful for most common people unless you want this to be very cinematic, which you can do. I shoot in 24 FPS sometimes. So on the camera right now, I have a 1/8 black Pro Mist filter. I have one of those for this too, if I want things to be a little more dynamic with halation, and you can also shoot in 24 FPS, which is quite nice if you want also to get a more dramatic effect with lighting. The nice thing is you can get vertical video too. So if I flip here and hit continue, then it will just continue in the vertical mode, and now I can record. It doesn't actually flip the sensor, but it limits it to then 3K. And at CES, what I found really valuable was if you actually set it in the menu options, you can just rotate it so that when you turn it on, it auto starts filming. And that way you won't miss anything. If there's a live presentation of some sort, all you gotta do is flick the screen up and then it's recording already. It'll just stabilize the gimbal in like a second or two, and then you're good to go. One thing I have started to do, because a couple weeks ago I was filming some footage for this device here, and for some reason the audio didn't record. I had it plugged into the Osmo. Maybe it was a factor of the mic being dead. We'll talk about this mic in a little bit when I talk about accessories. But anyways, it didn't record. But I did find out later that there is a backup recording you can do in here. It'll just store as an extra file in the computer. So I have enabled that full time now, even though it stores more data. It's not a crazy amount because it's just an audio file, but it is nice having that peace of mind when I have a microphone connected to it, just to know that I have a backup source in case anything were to happen with that audio. Now, I think it's time we address the elephant in the room, which is the pricing of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 now. So traditionally, it actually got to pretty good prices, and I hope you're seated because I actually paid $550 for this, and now it's $800. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I bought it on sale. That obviously changes the perspective of the Osmo, because at $550 it was a no-brainer. It was a steal of a piece of tech. You know, if I wanted to get the same effect on that camera there, which is much more expensive, I would actually have to buy like a Ronin stabilizer and a gimbal, and those you have to actually tune out the box sometimes. Every time you set it up, you got to do some tweaking and whatnot, and it's just much bigger, right? This I can flip, I can pop in here. Once it turns off, let's see, it locks the gimbal, pop in here, and I can actually just throw this in my pocket here. It's so small, right? But with these tariffs, that changes the game a little bit, and I still do think it's a good purchase because there's nothing really else like it in the market, but that might be a barrier of entry for some of the US folks at least. So in the next section, I want to talk about accessories, and there are ways I think you can save some money. So that is an option if you are considering buying one of these. So the base creator combo comes with a little attachment here, which then comes with a mount for a lot of your tripods. And there is a little USB-C port here, which I can plug the mic into or charge it. And then I just have a little mini tripod that I pop in here if you need to set it down somewhere really quickly, or just have as a little extended reach. And all this stuff comes in the Creator Combo Kit, and there's an extended battery too. One of my favorite accessories for the Osmo Pocket is this carry bag from Wandered, and it's the medium-sized tech pouch. And this was invaluable at CS because you can keep your load a little lighter, and you're walking 25,000, 30,000 steps a day there. So the first day I was lugging around my camera, all this like laptop gear, other stuff, and it was a little excessive. So having something small like this, where I can also pop the microphone system in here, is awesome. I believe this goes up to, I think it's 60 or 72 inches. So it gets very tall. So it's essentially just like a tripod, but incredibly thin. And the base legs snap out like that. So then I can have the Osmo like right there, or I'll show you max height. You can see that goes probably way out of frame, but it's all the way up here. And what this gives you, because it can do subject tracking and face tracking, you can just have it there. You could be moving around a little, and it's like your own portable videographer. Yeah, for pricing, I'll link everything below if you want to keep to date on it. I don't think this is the best for photography. I've tried it, but it's so-so. So the next accessories are a little bit smaller, so I'll get a top down and we can go on the desk and take a look at some of them. So I'll see you over there. This is the Hollyland Lark microphone system, which comes with 2 receivers, and then this slot here where you can either put the regular receiver that will hook up to any 3.5 source input, so I can hook it up to my camera, pop it in here, and then that will just hook in. This is a very versatile mic system. The DJI mic is good, but this I can hook into my laptop, I can hook into my phone, I can hook into my camera, I can hook up into the Pocket, which I'm shooting on right now, or you can shoot on a Lightning device as well if you have an older iPhone. And the battery's amazingly good. I put out a long-term review of this recently, but it's definitely my favorite microphone system that I've used. But just like the DJI mic, you can actually insert this here and then still use this as a handheld microphone. And if you want to make it look even more like a microphone, then you can put the windsock on here. So really great microphone system. And was one of the reasons I didn't buy the Creator Combo is because I already had this mic system. And so for me, just getting the DJI mic didn't really make much sense. The USB-C plug goes in the back, and then you will see the audio metering on the DJI Pocket 3. If you don't get the Creator Combo, then it is good to have a backup battery. This Anchor battery I really love. It's got an in-out, it's got a charge button, and then it flips up, which is great for your phone as well. So I really like this because it's versatile, so I can charge my phone, I can charge that, or any other small devices that I have with me, like the microphone here. You can just charge it. But if you don't get the Creator Combo and you want a handle type battery, I will link one below that I've been using and is pretty good. The newer slider is awesome for sliding shots. It's got a little motor in here. You can see, you can control the speed, and then you can set your movement like that. So with the DJI, because it does object tracking and rotation and whatnot, it gives a really cool effect. I'll maybe give some demos here. You can control the direction as well. And you can see I can really control that radius as well there by turning the wheels. Do like a pivot. And then the Elgato gives me the versatility of being able to control the angle that I have things on. So I'll link all these below for you. One of the best parts of the Osmo Pocket 3 though is really lens filters. Now if you buy the Creator Combo, I believe it comes with a wide lens and a ProMist that's probably 1/4, I believe. 1/4 for me is a little bit too strong, so I did end up getting the Black Diffusion 1/8 from K&F Concepts. Actually, this will be interesting so you can see. And so I'm gonna pop it on right now. Now you should be able to see this pretty close up. with the macro lens. Super cool. I'm gonna pop it off now. I've never needed a wider angle lens than this. So for me, having the macro lens is good. I do a lot of top-down shots like this, so having the macro where I can get really close in and get detailed shots is amazing. But super cool that they store here as well. And then for reflections, I have the CPL filter, which will get rid of those if I do car videography or product videography, where there's kind of a lot of shiny reflective stuff in it. And then there's a UV filter, which I use outside and more as just like a protective lens if I want. But then it also has the variable neutral density filters, the 1 through 5 here, the 1 through 5, which I believe is 2 to 32 stops, and then much greater stops if you're shooting in crazy broad daylight and you want to keep your shutter speed very consistent. So nice little kit. What I'll normally do is I'll put a lens on the Osmo, have what other lens I want here, and then maybe a different lens here. But that way I have everything on the go here, and I don't always need to carry this around with me. I can, it's easy to carry, but I never find that I really need more than 3 lenses when I know what I'm going to shoot at the time. And then this Joby Gorilla Pod is awesome if you wanted to do some selfie shooting with the Pocket. And I normally carry around the Elgato light with it. This has seen a lot of use, but the Elgato light is awesome. It just gives me the ability to get nice product shots on the go, and it's adjustable, and I can control the color temperature as well here. I also just found out about this alpaca crossbody sling through a YouTuber I follow, and I just purchased it because it seems nice. You can actually fit a decent amount of stuff in the back, and then in the front there's a quick easy access pocket that can fit the Osmo Pocket 3. And I did reach out to the company to get a discount code for you guys, so that's linked below if you're interested in it. And then finally, the last accessory, I don't use this super often, but if I do need good Z-axis stabilization, I can pop the Osmo on here. It acts as a case too. It then gives you other 3.5 mounts here that you can add on. You can see it stays very stable like that. So this keeps it, you see I'm moving my arm up and it's staying relatively stable. This removes some of that Z-axis jitter. This one can be a little bit finicky. So there's also like the Tilta Hydra and some other ones that can be really good if you say you want to mount this to a car, or you are just getting more cinematic footage and you want it to be very stable in the Z-axis department. You will want a fast micro SD card that comes with an adapter so you can plug that into your computer whenever you need. So I'll link some good options below, but I had an old memory card that I tried to use it with and it was not fast enough, so you will need a fast one. The DJI Mimo app is fantastic, connects very quickly to the Osmo. I find it much better than the Canon that I'm using right now, the Canon app that's respective here. But yeah, it connects almost right away. And then I can either have remote view, which you can actually like even move the gimbal and do all that. Yeah, that's just really invaluable. And then you can also just download your footage directly. But another cool thing is you can flip the button here and then it goes into selfie mode, or I can flip it the other way. So I'll record right now. You can triple tap the joystick as well, and then it will actually rotate. And then you actually have the ability to pan the gimbal as well with the joystick, which is quite nice. And you can control the speed. So it goes either very smoothly if you want a more cinematic experience of panning, or if you're trying to capture action, you can quickly do a mode of the joystick that will move very quickly, a little jerkier, but can be nice too. And then one other thing I think is interesting to speculate and talk about is that this has been out for 2 years now. So there's definitely a Pocket 4 coming at some point. I've seen some leaked rumors that just like the DJI drones, there might be a Hasselblad camera coming in the next one. So I don't know if that would be a bigger sensor or just a better sensor in terms of low light and FPS speeds that it can record at. I think one thing that they might do is just like the DJI drones, when you do flip the camera. So right now I'm in horizontal mode. If I go to vertical mode and hit continue, you'll see it doesn't actually rotate the camera that way. It just shoots and crops in 3K vertically. So I think that might be something that the DJI Mini 3 Pro that I have, it rotates the actual sensor so you get that full footage. So maybe that could be something that's coming. It's a decent system, but like you gotta always make sure when it clicks in, right there, that didn't press, so I have to push that in. And so that's like, if you were strapping this to a car or something, that is something that could definitely be an issue. if it fell off, right? This thing's pretty durable when it's in the case, but when it's outside, it's an exposed gimbal, so it's not, like, I wouldn't want this thing crashing to the ground. Maybe like the phone gimbal, there could be an extendable tripod that would be built into the device. That would be kind of neat to see. But then again, if a Pocket 4 does come out, that will probably be even more expensive, I would imagine. So maybe this could drop in price. If you're watching this video in the future, maybe that will already be out and you could get this for a much better deal. Personally, this like does pretty much all I need. The camera quality is fantastic and more than enough for even prosumer content. You know, if you do this for a living or if you make money off of it, the DJI Osmo is plenty. Like, the amount of people that were using it at CES to create content was just insane. I never expected to see that many there. But I would imagine the 4 could be better in terms of specs and whatnot. However, pricing is a big factor in that scenario. I actually did a long-term review of the Hollyland Lark M2. You can check that out here if you want to see it. But hopefully this long-term review of the Osmo Pocket 3 was helpful for you in deciding if you would like something like this in your workflow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.